Welcome, everyone. My apologies for being just slightly late. Had to get set up and was missing a few pieces for my setup. But I'm here. Welcome, Ginny. Welcome, Jonathan. I'm going to let you guys get on board here. And yeah, let me get some paper to draw on. Let's see. Welcome, Michael and Bill. All right, Dennis. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's just give everybody a chance to get on here. Did you guys all watch my training with the idisrupt.world? If you did, just put a Y on the board. Let me know, because that's going to be essential to what we're going to talk about. Welcome, Sasha. I got to have my post-workout. Just got done doing legs about 45 minutes ago. So this is my after-workout treat. Okay, so Jonathan watched it. I think you guys are going to be blown away when you demonstrate that you can do this. Okay. Tom, welcome. All right. Anybody else out there watch the videos at idisrupt.world, my new training videos? Anybody else watch them? Put a Y on the board, please. Let me know. I want to get a pulse on how deep I'm going to have to train tonight. Okay, let's see. Looks like my chat wall is a little stuck here. All right, well, we got 8 people on board. I think we had 17 in the class. Probably Sabrina and I would be about 15 maybe. So just want to see who shows up here. Okay, so let's maybe do a little gauge check on what does manifesting your true love mean to you. Give me just a description of 3 benefits that you will personally receive when you manifest your true love. Put those on the board if you can, and let me check and just get a pulse on what this is going to mean to you personally. And then I can use it to help minister tonight to session 1, where we're going to make a creation here. Okay. The video stopped. Did the video stop? Bill says the video stopped. Did you guys still hear me? All right, so Jonathan says, remove my blocks. You guys can hear me? Good. Thanks, Dennis. All right. Well, I'm not sure where the comments are going. Are you guys watching the video? Okay, thank you, David. Meaningful emotional fulfillment. Okay, very good. There they go. See, this video, these chat things just stop. Okay, so Ginny says unconditional love, peace, respect. All right. Okay, I'm going to wait for a few more. And what I'm going to convey to you is I'm going to bring the deep understanding of who you are. And then we're going to talk about how to manifest your true love. But first, I have to get you into the space where you are capable of doing that. So if you don't have someone in your life now, there's a reason why, and I know why, and I'm going to talk about that tonight. So Jonathan, got your responses? Okay, the forever one that shares my purpose. Okay. So it looks like everyone who's going to engage with me tonight on the chat is involved. So, okay. When I was young, I had an intuitive knowing of how the world worked. And so I want to take you on a couple stories and just remind you of how things actually work in the world. And Mikhail had a good question in the Allow group. He said, I'm stuck on this. I've been stuck on this all night. It says in Genesis that God created the heavens and the earth, but you say there's no material. And see, the big hang up here is that just because somebody says the word earth doesn't mean you have to jump into a material state of consciousness. The earth is a spiritual idea from God. You live in a spiritual universe. The imagination of God has created an earth as a spiritual idea. It's not a physical construct. So listen to me closely. When I was younger, before I went to bed at night, I used to imagine myself living in my imagination as who I wanted to be. And I would put all the things in my imagination that I wanted to have, including, you know, having a girlfriend and having friends that were cool. And I always ended up creating them because I did it in my imagination. And so the point here, and what I've been stressing for the past month, is God has made it clear to me that this is my ministry to teach now, is that the world is not there. The one that you think is there is not there. God never created a material world. So when you look outside of yourself, it's not there. I want you to know when you walk around and look around about yourself. The chances are, if you don't have the love of your life right now, you're walking around and you feel inside. You feel inside that you lack the love of your life. You have a feeling of loss. Maybe you are grieving a past relationship, or you go out in public, but you just can't seem to find that right person for you. And maybe you've even given up. Maybe you said, you know what, this is just stupid. Everybody's so disconnected. I just can't find anybody. I'm done. Well, whatever it is that you've decided, it's between you and you. There's no one else there. Now, this is the real fun part about it, is that your true love now is you. But we know that you're not going to, engage with yourself in the world of form, allegedly. So you need to create a mate, okay? Because that's what you're looking for. You're looking to create a mate. So as a creator, what do you have to do to create? Can anybody tell me, as a creator, if you're going to assume power, if you're going to take full responsibility for everything in your construct, and you're going to assume power and control over your hologram, tell me right now on the board, as a creator, what do you need to do to create? I want to see where we're at here. David says his connection is going on and off. Or is that for everybody? Let me know. Give me some feedback. There will be a replay if the connection is good, David. Obviously, you'll be able to catch a replay. I have really good internet here, so I'm not sure what it could be. So I'm going to wait for some comments. Okay, Sasha says, speak it into existence. Okay. Now, the question I said is, as a creator, what do you need to do in order to create this true love of your life? What is it going to take? Tom says imagination. Okay. Thank you, Dennis, for that, knowing that the sound's fine. David, you're just going to have to like watch this on replay. It'll be up on after we're done. You can watch it again at a better connection, whatever's going on. All right. Anybody else got any insight? Okay. Well, I'll give you the answer. I don't see anything else showing up. So the answer is you need to make believe. Make believe like children, the children of God, not the children of Satan. You need to make believe. So let me tell you a little story. I got to tell you some stories so you can see what's going on here. So when I was about 8 years old, 9 years old, I decided I would be like a star hockey player in high school. I only wanted to be a star in high school. I didn't envision myself any further than that. Okay. Even though I played further than that, I never really saw myself that much further. I wanted to be a star in high school. So what I would do is I would grab my stick and I'd grab my puck. Okay. My street hockey. So listen to the story and pay attention to the underlying meaning. And I would go outside the front of my house and I would imagine that the game was playing. I would see the crowd. Okay. I saw the crowd. Now, the crowd wasn't there to anyone else. Cars that were passing by never saw the crowd. Okay. Now, I also saw the other players and I'd have to like skate around them and I'd have to like shoot before they got to me. The cars that passed by on the street, because I used to shoot pucks at the house to my steps from the street. The cars never saw the crowd that passed by, and the cars never saw the players on the other team, and they never saw me on the ice. They saw me on the road. So they saw a kid with rollerblades on the street shooting pucks at his house. I saw myself on the ice scoring the winning goal of the game, the crowd roaring. Now, do you understand what I'm telling you? Do you understand that the hidden world, that hidden world is the bridal chamber? Okay? The hidden world of imagination is the bridal chamber. That's what I was doing, was I was creating what was to come. Like Walt Disney said, imagination is a sneak preview of life's coming attractions, because it's the truth. So let's see what you guys said here. Spinning wheel, watch on replay, imagination. Sabrina, welcome, Sabrina. Peter. Okay. Okay. What happened next? I ended up becoming that exact person in the game. My sophomore year, when I came into the high school hockey, I had to sit out my freshman year because I transferred high schools. So they made me sit out my varsity year. Otherwise, I would have started on varsity. I played all-star varsity summer hockey before I even entered high school in 8th grade. I won a national championship in 8th grade. Okay. And I was already at my full body weight by the time I hit 8th grade. So I was visioning myself being there when I was 8, 9 years old, 10, 11, 12 years old. This is what I did. Okay, by the time my body hit 8th grade, I was already there. I was ranked #1 state defenseman as a sophomore in high school, coming on varsity. It was like cutting through butter with a hot knife. It was so easy to play high school hockey. I remember I scored 5 goals as a defenseman. It was so easy. Okay, what I want to tell you is I already created it. That was just a formality. By the time everybody else saw it, by the time the crowd was actually there, I already had done it 1,000 times in my mind. That means it was already created. This is how the kingdom operates. Now, the unique thing about where you're at as part of our ministry is what they talk about in the ancient Gnostic texts. If you are dead seeking to be risen, you will not rise, you will remain dead. Okay? In other words, unless you are first risen and then die and become risen again, then yours is not the kingdom. So you have to know the truth about who you are. You're in the mind of God. You're in God's imagination, and it is the only reality that you live in. So when you step into the imagination and you create that invisible world around you, like I did when I played hockey in the street, the people that walk by, they don't see it. Allegedly, the people that walk by, they're not even there. Look to the world outside of you and realize it's not there. It's an illusion. It's fake. It's the Matrix. The real world is your imagination. So now that you're coming into the remembering of who you are and stepping into your imagination, you are risen again, which means you will acquire the inheritance of the Father. So if you have not watched my series, idisrupt.world, then you need to watch that, because you need to truly understand what is real and what is not real. Because when you walk around and you're looking for your partner, maybe you're online on a dating site, or you're doing something in the external world and it's not showing up. You are sowing in winter, okay? Whatever it is that is in your heart. Here's what I mean. If you walk around with a chip on your shoulder from a past relationship, or a broken heart, or you feel sad or lonely, or you just wish you had somebody, you're sowing that frequency into winter, and that's the world outside of you. So when you walk around amongst others, allegedly, you think they're there, but they're not. You're looking at the world of the dead. And you're trying to reap a harvest in the world of winter. And if you reap in winter, you will profit nothing, it says. So pay attention to me. I'm telling it to you from many different angles, and then I'll show you how to do it. This has to be what you need to know. Is it first risen? You are speaking of natural birth. Well, if you remember having an imagination as a kid, as a child, then you are first risen, okay? Because you became adulterated. My job is to break that off of you and to destroy the world. My job is to destroy the lie, the error, the fact that you've been looking outside of yourself, letting the world tell you who you are, what you have and don't have, and then measuring yourself up against something that's not even there. That's what being blind is. You're living through the five senses. And so is it any wonder that you're creating the deficiency of the romantic partner that you seek? Because you think you're going to find it out there. And there lies the riddle of how you're going to find it. So, do you want me to show you how to find it? Because I will right now. I will show you how to do this. But we need to come into agreement first. If you can't capture the first part of this, you can't do any part of this. The truth is, the world is not there. It is an illusion. It is fake. It is dead. It's the world of incompleteness. And you're trying to find completeness for yourself in the world of incompleteness. You're trying to reap in winter. You must sow in winter to reap in summer. You must sow in the winter season to reap in the summer. The summer is the imagination. Like when I was playing hockey, I was out there on the street in the winter, okay? looking at the street, that's the winter season. I did not see the street. I saw the ice rink. I was playing against people that to other observers were not there. They could not see the seed that I was impregnating the winter with, because I was sowing in winter, okay, from my summer. I was in the summer season sowing that energy into the winter. Get this. I was already in the game, playing in my imagination, and to all external appearances, those who were watching could not see what I was creating because it was my imagination. They saw what they thought was true, but was untrue. That's why Jesus said, "Curse you who have seen the Son of Man." Because if you look at the man, you don't see the kingdom. If you looked at me playing on the street and you saw a kid with just a puck on the street shooting at the house, you don't see the kingdom. The kingdom is in me, where I am creating. Okay, remember, everything you think is physical is 99.999997% empty space. So what is the world you're standing on? It's a spiritual idea. It's not a physical construct. It's a spiritual idea in the mind of God. So here's how you create your perfect soulmate love. Go get yourself a piece of paper and something to write with. A blank paper and something to write with. And I'll give you a minute to come back. And I'm going to show you how to create your true soulmate and how to have that person right now. In the same way that I had been a star hockey player, and to all appearances, nobody else saw it but me. But now, fast forward a short period, when I actually walked into it, everybody saw it. That's how you're going to do this. Because there is no obstruction to what you create in your imagination, because your imagination is the real, and what you see with your lying eyes is unreal. So therefore, what you think matters doesn't, because matter doesn't exist. You may say, I live in a town of 25 people. I can't find anybody. I'd say, you don't live in a town of 25 people. You're blind. You're looking to the world out there to tell you where you are. You're not there. You've never been in the world. You're in the world, but not of it. What world are you in? You're in God's kingdom. You're not of the material world. The material world is fallen. You see, this is the point where we cross the line between sage and psychotic, all right? All geniuses are borderline what they would call a psychotic, because the human mind can't understand the kingdom. The human mind cannot understand the kingdom because the human mind is corrupt. The human mind is insane. So therefore, it projects insanity everywhere it goes, including the world you walk in that you think is real. It's upside down. Everything that is real has a fake counterpart. The universe is twinning. The entire universe is twinning, okay? So for whatever is real, there's a fake counterpart of that. So the fake counterpart of your dynamic of relationship is the distance between you and your lover on the earth plane. And the real is the distance between you and you in the spiritual plane. Now, you might have to watch this again and again because I'm dropping seeds. I need to destroy your old reality construct so that you can have what you say you want to have, because you already do. You don't need carbon in the pencil, Sasha. We're not going to, do that right now, but good thinking though. So you guys got your pen and paper, or whatever you got? It'd be about time to have it right now. Okay, so let's get down to it. Let's create your perfect love. Now, before I give you the exercise, let me tell you I've done this at least 4 times in a row. I've done this at least 4 times in a row. Okay? It has not failed. So, how is it that I know something that will not fail? It's because God doesn't fail. And here's the thing. When you are risen again, when you rise again, which means when you cast the world off and you live from the imagination. In other words, when you do exactly what I did when I told you about the analogy of playing hockey in the street, when that is how you walk in the world, creating a world that others can't see, but you're there now. When you walk in that world, then you are in the inheritance of the Father. And the Father is lacking for nothing. Therefore, if you ask anything in my name, it shall be given to you. That's what the Bible means when it says that. Okay, so now I live in my imagination. I create whatever environment I want. Wherever I go, I am the environment. Say to yourself out loud 3 times, wherever I go, I am the environment. Wherever I go, I am the environment. Look to your world outside of your life. See, when you see with human eyes, you're blind. Your human eyes are blind. They see a world that's not there. Just like the people that saw me playing on the street with a puck. That's not the world. That's an illusion. I was on the ice playing against people. See, they've got it upside down, and I'll tell you why. Because people in the world think that they imagine a God, and they're going to get to that place someday. They're completely lost. Because they look and see a world around them and think that one day they're going to leave that world, and then they're going to enter some afterlife. That's retarded. Spiritually retarded. And I don't mean to knock being retarded. I'm just saying the word retarded is exactly a perfect fit for that spiritually. The truth is God is imagining you. God is imagining you. It's completely upside down. So when I was on the ice in my imagination, and everybody saw me on the street, which one was real and which one was fake? The ice was real and the street was fake. It's completely backwards. You must understand, it's completely backwards. They saw the winter, I saw the summer. I was in the day that never ends. They were the blind leading the blind. So, I will teach you now how to manifest your true love. The first thing you're going to do is get a blank piece of paper. Now, in the center of your paper, draw a circle. And put my true love in there. Just put it right there. You're going to define your true love because you're going to make believe and create it. And that's the beauty of this, is that your lying and deceitful eyes have scanned the world and said you can't find your true love because he or she's not there. And you are full of BS because the world isn't there. You are blind. The world is in you. So we're going to draw it out from inside of you and put you in the frequency of it. You're going to impregnate the world of winter from the summer, from the frequency of having, and then that person's going to literally walk right into your life because that's how the world operates. That is how the kingdom creates. So here's what you're going to do. Just go ahead and make like a little sun symbol like this. See those little spokes? Do that. Now, those are legs for attributes. Now, for every spoke, I want you to clearly define attributes of this person that you are going to make believe into your reality this moment as already having this person, and define the characteristics of who this person is to you. For instance, she is, she's short, she's beautiful, she has brown eyes, whatever. You define everything. He's successful. He owns his own company. She's financially independent. She takes care of herself. He has one kid. He's open to having more kids. See, I want you to define this so you don't have a mismatch. I want you to be specific about who you're going to create. You are your lover. It's you and you. You're going to create it from the kingdom. And then you're going to bring the kingdom, thy kingdom come, the Lord's Prayer. You're going to bring the kingdom down. And it's going to walk right into your life on the earth plane. And you'll prove to yourself that your lying eyes are not real, that your imagination is the real. So take a few minutes, 5 minutes, and I want you to clearly define every aspect of this person you are creating. Make it your dream lover. You've had preferences that you've had in the past from other experiences. You've met people and you said, man, I really like that person, but only if they would have been a little different in this way, they would have been perfect for me. And I want to caution you about what is perfect for you, what you think is perfect for you. If you think that, let's say, you show up in the world as, I don't know, maybe, let's say you show up as somebody who's not really that into health and you just really kind of, just kind of like to be chill and you don't really care about the way you look. But yet you say you want to manifest somebody who really does care a lot about the way they look, and they're very much into vanity and they're very much into that stuff. Be careful what you ask for, because you're probably going to get it with this exercise. Because check your heart and see if you'll really be happy. Because they may not make you happy. Remember, people that have those attributes maybe have 350 people texting with them every single day trying to get their attention. And is that what you want? I just want you to check yourself for what you think will truly bring you the most happiness. Because I want you to create this right the first time. So list out the attributes. I'm just talking over it while I'm giving you time to do it. And then when you're done listing your person, just put done on the board. Put done on the board. Okay, so Tom says, my biggest problem is imagination. Never really had one. Well, Tom, can you feel? Can you feel things? Tell me if you can feel. Because feeling gets the blessing. Feeling is what acquires. So tell me if you can feel. That's very important. Because with this, it doesn't take a heck of a lot of imagination if you have something right in front of you. I just want to know, if you put it on here, can you feel? So Tom, you're done, okay? Good. You can feel 50-50. All right, Tom, are you desensitized for some reason? Like, are you taking any narcotics or anything that desensitized you, or are you just naturally not feeling anything? Like, what is the block here? Tell me what the block is. Because most people can feel unless they are suppressing it somehow. So tell me what's going on. I have to know what I'm working with. Now, as a side note, the beautiful part about knowing that the world is not there is that it breaks your connection to linear thinking. If you want to come to the flow state where you're 400 to 700% more effective at everything you do, minimum, I can stay in the present moment all night long, because I know that you're not there. I know that the world's not there. And yet I'm in the world, but not of it. And because I don't create time, I don't create quantifying space. And since I don't create quantifying space, I don't get caught up in material formations trying to mesmerize me. For instance, I'm at the gym, I'm doing legs, and there's guys walking around that are doing their thing, and there's girls walking around doing their thing. And I say to myself, they're not even here. And all of a sudden, my mind is back in the flow. Like, I am back in the Zen. I don't get mesmerized by appearances. And therefore, I don't lose my power to the world. You don't give your power away. It's very, very important. You see a pretty girl walking down the street. She's not there. It's like the movie The Matrix. They inserted the woman with the red dress to come and pop up in front of Neo so he'd be, he'd look at her. She's not there. It's a hologram. The world's not there. Okay? It keeps you in the power. So I have trouble imagining, and feeling is even difficult, but I'm working on it, getting better. Okay, well, we can pray about that later, okay? Because you should be able to feel and imagine. You are endowed with godlike quality. So there's something there spiritually that needs to be dealt with, because God doesn't have an obstruction to feeling or imagining. Okay, there's no obstruction there. It's a belief standing in the way. Okay, you guys are still working on this, I see. So I'll tell you a little story. Okay, so as I put in the sales letter, okay, well, the first time this happened, the first time I did this on a serious level was I got to high school, okay? And unfortunately, when I got to high school, I had a little spell. I got a bunch of bad acne the first year in freshman year. And because I had that acne, it got really bad. I looked to the world outside of me, and they laughed at me. The world absolutely hated me. The girls laughed at me. I had such bad acne on my forehead, it looked pathologically disgusting. And unless I wore a hat, everybody would look at it and it looked like I had some disease, and I wasn't getting any love, okay? And not only that, I was truly heartbroken because my grandfather died just prior to that, and I was without, covering of a father again. I was going through some hard times, and I wasn't getting any love. I was getting none. My guy friends laughed at me. They called me Mafeo instead of Mateo, Spanish. Mateo for Matthew, they called me Maffeo, which means ugly. So they called me ugly. Now imagine how that felt. That felt really wonderful. And then I'd go out and I would try to like be around girls, and I couldn't even talk to them because I was freaking ugly. I had stuff all over me. So what do you do? Okay. Well, this is what I did, is I took my power back. It was amazing. I started to learn to imagine what I wanted. And I started to then speak it, because when you speak what you imagine, you are solidifying it. Now, the word solidifying means making it solid. You're making it a solidified fact from the summer to the winter. So your word is very powerful. So here's how I did it. I decided what I wanted, okay, like this. I decided what I wanted. I wanted me a little Pamela Anderson, okay? Because back then she was really beautiful from Baywatch. And I said, I'm going to have a girl that looks like Pamela Anderson. She's going to be gorgeous. And I made my little mind map of what I was going to create. Now, keep in mind, people were still laughing at me outside. They called me Maffeo, and I did look pretty bad in the mirror. So what I did was I said, okay. I said, I'm lean, sexy, and gorgeous, always and forever. I'm lean, sexy, and gorgeous, always and forever. I'm lean, sexy, and gorgeous, always and forever. I said, this is what I want. And I would say it on my hands every time. Every time that thought came to me, I would shoot it down. Every time the thought came, Matthew, you're so ugly, nobody loves you, I would shoot it down with, I'm lean, sexy, and gorgeous. I'm lean, sexy, and gorgeous. I would just do it under my tongue, like boom, boom, boom. I just keep counting it until that thought just dispelled itself. And I did it again and again and again and again and again until that thought died. Okay? And then at night before I went to bed, I imagined myself with my girl. Okay? I already created her in my imagination, and I imagined myself being with her now. When I went to bed at night, I'd listen to my music, and I would be, kissing her and being with her and all these things I wanted. And I saw myself too without the acne. I said, I'm not going to have this. This is gone. And guess what happened? Within 6 months, all of my acne, now I didn't have to do this for the whole 6 months. I think I did it for like 4 or 5 weeks straight. And then I just kind of let it go because I got bored of doing it. But within 6 months, I lived it. And I met Tara. And Tara, I ended up dating her for 5.5 years. And we had a daughter together, and my first child, Taylor. Now, she looked just like Pamela Anderson. And I dated her all through high school. And I became a star hockey player, just like I created earlier. And my acne was gone. And most every girl in the high school wanted to date me. So how did that happen? How did I go from being Maffeo and being a dork to being the most popular with the girls in all of the high school? I swear I was. I had like the girl, when I like, as soon as this all kicked in, the girl, she was a senior, I was a sophomore. She was the girl everybody wanted. I straight up walked right up to her at her locker, and I asked her on a date, and she said yes to me. And my whole hockey team bowed down, and they said, holy crap, you just asked out, her name was Jessica. And I asked her out, and she said yes. 6 months from the time that everybody laughed at me, because I created it in the kingdom. And the world had to change because the world wasn't there. So the world had to conform to my imagination. Done. Good. Okay. So, all right, good. Now, after that, I forgot to do this for a while. I ended up becoming bulimic and anorexic. I had eating disorders. I went through a lot, okay? I've been through so many things that I've had to overcome. It's crazy. And then I got to the point when I said, I am so lonely. I was like a male exotic dancer, okay? But yet I was the loneliest guy you could ever imagine. See, imagine this. because I was not doing this process. I was letting the world tell me who I was. And the world's going to kick sand in your face if you don't use your imagination. The world is going to kick sand in your face. Okay, so I had an incredible physique. Obviously, I was binging and starving myself and throwing it up, so I had no fat on me. But I was so broken and so hurt inside that everywhere I went, I was putting that hurt, I was sowing that hurt into the winter season. So therefore, since I was not using summer, I was not sowing in the summer to reap in the winter. I was sowing in the winter and reaping a harvest that was dead. So everywhere I went, I sowed my pain. Now, regardless of how good my body looked, it was great. I could not have a girlfriend for 3.5 years. I would meet women that were awful to me, and they were just as awful as I was inside, okay? And it was bad. For 3.5 years, I was so lonely. And then I said, you know what? I want love in my life. And I remembered what to do. I remembered how to do this. So again, I, created who I wanted in my life. And I started to imagine, now get this, I started to imagine, this is when I really figured it out, that she was with me now, in this moment. And I'm not kidding. Like, I imagined that I would be sitting, I was working at the night shift at the health club, the Princeton Club. And I was so lonely because it was 11 o'clock till 7. I said, you know what? I'm going to put her right here next to me in the chair right now. So she was in the chair with me. Now, just like when I was playing hockey on the ice, nobody else coming through the health club could see my girlfriend was with me. But she was with me. I put her in the chair. Check this out. This is real. This is how it's done. I imagined her coming in to give me a hug, and I felt her hug me. Whenever I wanted a hug, she was there. She was my imaginary friend. And so when I felt lonely, I said, oh, I have my girl. And then she would come in and give me a hug, and I'd smell it. And then I would taste her skin when I kissed her, in my mind, of course. And I would talk to her in my mind. I wouldn't audibly talk to my, out in front of people, but I was with her everywhere I went. I took her with me. When I went to work out in the middle of the night, I wasn't working out alone anymore. I would look over and I would imagine her there with me, and seeing her smile and talk to me, I already had her because she was in my imagination. So then what happened? A month and a half later, it's like, I don't know, a little bit after 10:30, 11, whatever it was. I'm like at the desk and I'm getting a little tired, and this girl walks right through the front door. She walks right through the front door of the health club. She walks directly at me. She smiles, turns her head to the side. I instantly felt the connection. I felt the same feeling that I impregnated into my imagination come to the world back to me. And my whole, I lit up. And we talked, and it was 7 a.m. We were still talking. We went home, made love at her house, and she was my girlfriend that I created in my imagination. She walked right into my life. Now, you might think that that's spectacular, but that's just a principle of how the universe works. So what made that happen? What made it happen was that I was sowing in the summer season to reap in the winter. That means in my imagination, I had already defined her, and she was with me right now in every moment. Wherever I went, I brought her with me. We did things together that nobody else could see, of course. She sat next to me at the desk, okay, talked to me while I was working. I'd hold her hand when I wanted to hold her hand. I would like look over and she'd look back, she'd smile at me. Now you'd think I was a freaking nut job if you thought you'd put me in a white jacket if I told you what I was doing. You do not tell the world what you are doing. The world will think you're insane because the world is insane. The world is retarded spiritually. You know this. They believe what their lying eyes tell them. Your imagination is the truth. The world isn't there. I created in my imagination what walked through the door. I put her there in my world. Now you'd think that okay, you did it twice, Matthew. But, it's you. I can't do that. Do you think God is a respecter of any person? Then you are blind. If you think what you see with your lying eyes is there, then you are blind. So then I did it again. Okay? So again, I stopped imagining. I just kind of let the world play out. See, the thing here is that when you get what you want, you're typically going to lose the kingdom. You're going to see, here's what the Gnostic texts say. I want you to understand this. Whatever is exposed dies. So whatever is exposed dies. So while you're creating this, you do not tell other people what you are doing at all. They'll kill it. You do it on your own. But when it is exposed, when you do get this person in your life, you have to be careful to keep sowing in the summer, or you will begin to receive your data from the winter, and you will sow in the winter and it will die. The example is every time I had received, and every time, 4 times in a row, boom, 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 same process, same thing happened every time. I stopped imagining the same thing with that person. So therefore, I was getting feedback from the world form of that person, which is the person that wasn't there. Just like when Jesus showed up in the world, the man that they saw was not there. The real Jesus was in the imagination of God. Get this? So when you manifest your lover, if you go blind, which means that all you see is the lover that shows up through the front door, remember the twinning effect. For everything real, there is the unreal. See, it's all backwards. When I imagined my love, I was in the real with my real love. When she walked through the door to my 5 senses, the unreal version of her came in, which is the one we want. And that's why when you get up in the morning, they call it being awake, because you're in a dead world. You're at awake. So you're living in the world of the dead. So you get to have your lover in the world of the dead. But if you look to the world of the dead and forget the summer, then you will reap in the winter and it will die. And you will lose that relationship. Unless you cultivate it in a certain way. So we were on the outs with that relationship again, because I hadn't cultivated any more imagination with it. I was done with it. And we outgrew each other, in our own ways. And so then I said, you know what? I want to have a family. I wanted somebody who's going to be my business partner and my lover. And I wanted a family. So who do you think I met? Well, it wasn't by luck that I met her, because look at the circumstance. I'm going to blow your mind. I'm going to blow your mind. I did it again. I decided what I wanted. And I started to have it already in my imagination. I already had her. And so what did I do? I did the same thing I told you how to do. She was with me now. I reenacted the whole moment. We'd go drive together. I'd get in my Cadillac. She would be with me. We'd be hanging out. We'd be doing all the things together we're doing. I knew what I wanted. Well, then all of a sudden, one day, I'm at a business meeting, and my friend Erica that I recruited into a company in network marketing, she brings someone named Sabrina. So Sabrina comes and sits down, and we make connections with our eyes. And she said she knew that she knew me. I saw exactly who she was. And I said, this is crazy. I'm like, I think that's her. I feel in my heart that this is the one that I've been creating. But then I let it go. And this is how powerful your imagination is, okay? I didn't pursue it this time. I didn't like try to lock it down right away. I let it go. But the universe is so precise that what happened was we ended up running into each other a couple weeks later, or whatever it was, at this shopping grocery store that is huge. It's Woodman's. It's like several football fields big, and the parking lot is ginormous. And it was late at night where there's all parking spots that you could pick. Well, all of a sudden, I bump into her at the checkout of all places in the whole world, and I lived 25 minutes away from there. And so she's in line. I'm in line. I'm thinking, this is crazy. She just ran into me again. And, well, she was $8 short. So I borrowed her $8, and the whole laugh that we would laugh about is I'm like, well, that $8 cost her 3 kids. Okay. I got 3 kids out of that deal. So the funny part about it is that she's like, this guy's stalking me. This is crazy. Like, how did he find me here? And I'm like, how the heck did she show up here? And I'm thinking, wait, I know exactly why she showed up here. So then we exchanged numbers, because then it was obvious that we ran into each other. There was something going on. See, the kingdom, thy kingdom come, thy kingdom shall be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's what it means. That wasn't by accident. I created it. Okay. And so then fast forward, we had kids, we're here, boom. That's how the game works. Okay. So the game works like that. That is how you manifest the person. So let's look at some of your comments. Okay, so reaping in winter instead of a full harvest. All right. Okay. Okay, now be careful, Jonathan. If you know the girl that you want, remember not to choose her in the winter season. In other words, if you walked through your world and you've identified someone in your world that you want, do not put that particular person on there, because that is sowing in the winter. Okay? You must not outline who you're going to impose your creation upon. You outline the attributes. For instance, let's say you know a woman personally and you say, God, she is the dream girl. I must have her. Don't approach it that way. What is it about her that you like so much? What is it about her that does it for you? Put that attribute on there, not her. Leave her out of it. She's not there. It's an illusion. Don't prey upon illusions. So what I've done and what I will teach you to do and what I've taught you to do is what they call praying without ceasing. This is what it means to pray without ceasing until you get your miracle. It means that if I were to do this right now, I would draw up who I want. I would carry this with me in my wallet, and I would look at it, and I would make time to be with my lover. For instance, this is my lover right here because I'm going to imagine my lover with me now. I make time for my lover now, to include her now, so that when she does come through the winter season into my life, I've already carved out the time. So what does that mean? It means, like, if I'm going to go running tonight, like I am after this, I'm going to go run. It means she's going to come running with me. It means we're going to look at each other and say, hey, should we go work out? She'll be like, yeah, let's go work out. And then I'll get up with her and we'll go walk downstairs. We'll probably stop at the door and make out for a few seconds, because I'm going to create that type of romance. Why? Because one of the attributes is going to be that she's really into me. She thinks I'm like very hot and attractive. She loves me. We like to make love. See, I'm creating it the way I want it. So we're going to do that in my mind, and I'm going to make time for that. And then I'm going to go to the gym, and we'll look at each other and we'll flirt with each other. We'll get on the treadmill. I'll look over. She's working out next to me. Again, nobody in that entire gym is going to see this. but they're blind. I'm creating in the hidden place, in the secret place of the Most High. I shall abide under the wings of the Almighty, and I will pray without ceasing. That means that she will come with me. When I lay down at night, I will not lay down alone, Ginny. I will not lay down alone, Dennis. I will not lay down alone, Sasha, and all the rest of you listening. I will not be alone. I will feel, sense, imagine, whatever you're working with, all of it. Whatever I want her to be with me, she will be with me now. I have her from this moment forward. She is mine. I told you when you did this workshop that you were going to create and have the lover of your dreams and have her, and you have her from this moment forward in your imagination where the real world is. Now, you must create in summer to reap in winter. That is the summer. Summer is the imagination. If you don't know what I'm talking about the Gospel of Philip, and I just did that. And I want you to have it. So, you have to watch idisrupt.world. The video's there. At the last video on the 3-part series, if you didn't get the memo last night in the Allow group, there's the idestroy.world training too. I broke down the Gospel of Philip, so I can show you about 5 different ways the Bible tells you that this is the secret to the kingdom. So anyway, unless you are willing to wake up, to get out of your dream state of Adam mortality, unless you're willing to let go of the world out there as your authority, which means you've given your entire power away to it, you've become a slave held captive to it, unless you're willing to do that, then good luck. Because the reason why you're lonely is because you believe what you see with your lying eyes, and you believe what you hear with your ears, and your 5 senses are in control, and you've left your imagination. Okay, your lamp has gone dim. Your lamp is dim, and you think something outside of you is required to complete you, and therefore you're trying to reap a harvest in winter. And that is the world of the dead. So enter the kingdom and pray without ceasing. And your assignment for this week, okay, until we meet again Monday, you're going to have a lot of fun. You carry your sheet with you and learn to live in your imagination as often as you can. If you go to work tomorrow, get in the car with your lover. Make the space for them now so that they will walk into your life and you have already got the space for them. Feel the completeness. Feeling gets the blessing. Feel the completeness of having this lover now from this moment forward. If you have it in your imagination, it is already yours. It is given. It belongs to you by right of consciousness. The only thing that's required is for you to stop looking outside of yourself. It's not there. When you go out and you feel lonely and you're having a tug of war with this, because I'm challenging you to do this, you're going to be, oh, I feel so lonely. It's me again. Nobody loves me, and all this crap that goes on. Bull-loney. You're being tempted by the evil one. Now, let me break down the Lord's Prayer for you. Our Father, who art in heaven. That means the kingdom of imagination and spirit is where the Father is. Hallowed be thy name. Completeness, wholeness is the name of the Father. It lacks for nothing, including a lover. There's nothing lacking. Thy kingdom come. It means the imagination of God. Come. Thy shall be done on earth as it is in heaven. I told you how to do this. That's what works. That's what the Lord's Prayer is telling you to do. Give us this day our daily bread, the bread of life. The bread of life is the knowledge of this truth. Eating on the bread of life gives you life. Forgive us of our sins as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. You see, your sin is that you looked outside of yourself to a world of winter season, and you believed in the mortal dream of consciousness, and you took identity and form and shaped yourself according to what the world told you. And the world is evil. Deliver us from the evil one. The world outside of you is evil. Deliver us from the evil one. Means give us our imagination, our kingdom. Let us have the kingdom, because thy kingdom will come on earth as it is in heaven. That's what Jesus taught you. Forgive us of our sins as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. See, when I walked to the gym today and through the gym, I saw people passing in front of me. They weren't trespassing, but they were passing in front of me. And I said, they're not even there. And all of a sudden, I was back in the imagination. I was back in the kingdom. For thine, the kingdom, is the power and the glory, always and forever. Amen. The Lord's Prayer is the answer. And I just told you how to do it. So your job for this entire week is to carry the attributes of this person and engage with them in your imagination, in your feeling. You have this lover now. Everywhere you go, it's exciting. I love doing this. When I do this, I do this. You can create a mentor. You can create a best friend. You can create $1 million. I've done all of it. So, welcome to the kingdom where you have the lover of your true desire right now. Carry this for the week. And every time the world beguiles you to believe that you have not, shut it down. Shut down the claim of error by knowing and saying, it's not there. It is not there. The world isn't there that you think is there. Step back into your kingdom of imagination, of God's kingdom. Feel the attributes of your lover with you now. And know the world of the dead can offer you nothing. And then next week, I will show you how to bridge the two worlds so that you can hasten this process. And typically this could happen within 24 to 72 hours for a very ascended person. For someone who's very ascended, this could happen within 24 to 72 hours. It never did that fast for me. I'm sorry, but it never did. Usually for me, it's taken from 3 to 4 weeks, maybe 3 to 4 weeks on average. By continuing to pray without ceasing, which means that I have my lover now. Now, I've been tempted when I've done this. I felt the loneliness kicking in. I felt the isolation. I felt the, oh crap, this stupid imaginary game I'm playing with myself. Ah, man, like, and then I said, wait a minute, that's ridiculous. It's in the Bible. It's what Jesus taught. It is the kingdom. I've done it so many times, I know it's true. And then I do it, and then it works. And wouldn't you know, every single time it always happens. They walk right into your life. Because you put them there already. It was just a formality when they walked through the door. That was just the world of winter giving you what you sowed in summer for. So next week, I'll show you how to sow and how to reap, okay? You're already going to begin doing it now. This week is about repetition of having. You need to sow into winter what is in summer, and summer is about having. Sow. And then we will bridge the gap and reap, okay? Like this process. Fall in love now, because he or she or whatever you identify as, your lover is yours now. and you are free to experience that from this moment forward. All right, guys, that is your lesson for today. I will talk to you in 1 week, and I can't wait to hear some of the stories of how much you like this, how you've been challenged by it, and I'll show you where to go from here as we meet again next Monday. Take care.